Hey, what's Fusion here? Back with another video. Um, JCole, he dropped a little birthday pack for us. Um, I've been critical of J. Cole. I think that J. Cole is a solid rapper. He knows how to make a great rap song. He knows how to rap. All that stuff there. Um, my problem is his albums. He has really, really good albums, but they're not sticky enough for me personally. I feel like he'll get into a creative sort of comfort zone and sort of stick in that comfort zone. I feel like there are songs that he'll release that I feel like we've already heard before. Um, that being said, he came with a different energy on this mixtape EP. I think it's 4 songs, 4 or 5 songs. And it was very freestyle mixtapey, and it was great. It was different. It was something that sort of leads you to believe he's going to be on a different type of level and different type of feel on this album, on the fall off. He does address the apology. He does address some things in this freestyle, the 26 one. Um, Here's a tweet, just bringing out exactly what he said. I used to be top. See, the apology dropped me way out of the top three. No problem. I'm probably my best when they doubt me. And let me just get the full tweet, I guess. Fuck it. All right. Here's what he said. I used to be top. See that? Blah, blah. Okay. The top ain't really what I thought it would be, so I jumped off and landed back at the bottom and restarted at the level where I wasn't regarded as much. Just to climb past them again and tell them all to keep up. Yeah. So apparently he's saying, him saying sorry, took him out the big three. I think there was a time where that was a conversation. I don't think so. I think because of what we are categorizing as the big three, be it people who have established the bridge between quote unquote underground and quote unquote mainstream. Who can have sales and have quality albums and have the critical acclaim and is being pushed by hip hop in quotation marks. So you have the Kendricks, Drake, and J. Cole. Those three are the people who have mastered both the underground and the mainstream. Drake brought a whole new sound. He did. He brought the singy songy to the mainstream, and added the rap element under it, and it created this whole new sound. Um, I wouldn't say it's a brand new sound that was brought or that was like created. Maybe I can rephrase that a little bit. It was more so the mainstream accepted what he did that was already used, and then it became and evolved into what he is now. Um, when you think of Kendrick, he has songs that are hits, and then he has like those deep cuts. I mean, then he has hit songs that, in all actuality, should not really be a hit, just like depending um on what is being talked about in the song. Swimming pools, in all actuality, should not be a quote unquote like traditional hit song. Um, Solid beat, semi catchy lyrics, but what he's talking about is some heavy stuff. And that's something that I think that J. Cole can do and has done, and is a reason that he is in this top three and should be in the big three conversation. But I understand like the sentiment on why people, and why I feel like there is some validation on him not being seen at the level as those other people. I was going to say players, rappers. That being said, um, they will always be the big three until somebody makes or finds a way to mix the actual rapping ability, the ability to be marketed in the mainstream, and the ability to make quality music at that, like consistently, I don't think those three will ever be knocked off. But I will say that the apology has um made me personally look at him a little sideways, because it's just like when you're hooping. I don't know. I think basketball and hip hop have so many parallels. It's like if I'm calling out somebody at the courts, and I ask for the 1v1. Um, well, me and my homeboy are playing, and then we were wanting somebody to play like the king of the court with us. But there was some beef going on with the other guy that I was playing with. Apparently, like that's something that I didn't know, or maybe I had sort of knew there was something going on, but I wasn't sure. Obviously, there was some underlying stuff previously that J. Cole was not aware of with Kendrick and Drake. I'm not gonna go all the way through the beef, but I just want to get through like to where this is sort of like the parallel. Um, yeah, so there was some beef there. We were just trying to play a friendly, king of the court. Who's the best player on this court as of right now? Kendrick came out and he was like, hey man, I will play you guys, but there's something a little bit more serious going on with him and me. So I may be trying to body him up a little bit more. I'd be trying to, I don't know, cross him up, maybe trying to embarrass this guy. J. Cole, he came out. He tried to do some body up contact. He tried to get some body moves going. Obviously, his how he scored the ball and his aggressiveness, I don't think was at the level of Kendrick's. Like, I don't think that the 7-minute drill was a great diss. It was, it was fine, I guess, but it was definitely not a great diss. And then you take your ball and leave. You say, hey man, my bad. And, the rumor out there is that Schoolboy Q told him to not engage. It doesn't matter at that point. At that point, you accepted when you engaged. You engaged. And now, I don't think he's throwing shots at Kendrick or Drake on this. Of course, now that these three are going to be intertwined like forever, anytime that someone says anything, just in general, like, man, I'm finna kill a rapper, or I put a rapper on life support, whatever, they're going to automatically think it's one of the other two. That is what is now becoming. And I think people are just trying to find and connect names in some circumstances. That could be true, that J. Cole is like doing that on purpose, trying to push whatever he's trying to push. I think he has a line where he said something about that. Let's see. Well, this is him talking about that apology. Dang, I don't have it. But there was a tweet where he was saying, there was a lyric in this new little mixtape where he says something that sounds like he could be referring to Kendrick, but in all actuality, it sounds like something that he's talking about with Joey Badass. Let me see if I can find it. Joey. Let me see if I can search it. Joe Budden, then night. Okay, here it is. Let me. All right.
You're known as the rap game that's been overcome with loads of marketing plans based on randomly dissing and hating on the next man. I understand, imagine working hard as you can on this album you plan, hoping it charges your brand. But as soon as you drop it, the world's ignoring again. Got you wondering why till you.
Okay. So yeah. First of all, like, that beat is nasty, and I like when J. Cole is rapping on stuff that he normally doesn't rap on. Um, I think he tends to find a pocket and gets very, very comfortable. And because of that comfortability, it can semi just be like, all right, now you got to do something else. When there are different beats and stuff that he has to focus in on, I think it sounds a little bit better, and it's a little bit more enticing to the ear, in my opinion. But yeah, here's something. Marketing plans based on randomly dissing and hating on the next man. I understand. I understand. Imagine working hard as you can on this album. You plan, hoping it charges your brand. But as soon as you drop it, it's as soon as you drop it, the world's ignoring again. Um, yeah, we all heard and saw what happened with the J Cole. I mean, with the Joey Badass album. He dropped that album. Nobody listened to it, unfortunately. It was sort of underwhelming. I really, really like that intro song though. But for all extensive purposes and just for the scoreboard sake, Joey Badass beat, I guess, the West Coast people. He beat Ray Vaughn. He beat Ash Cheek. That was funny. But he beat these people. And there was a push behind a certain artist's fan group behind this nigga being like, oh, now he's saying names and he has to pop out, and so what's gonna happen? But a certain group or a certain fan base was really pushing this dude, and then once the album dropped, nobody gave a shit. Everybody ignored it. And this really only can be a few people. It can't be Kendrick because his album was successful. He went on a successful tour and he did a random drop as well. So I think that's interesting. I don't think it can be Drake. I don't think it can be Pusha or even ASAP. I feel like these people have issues with people and they have been beefing with the same person. Now Joey Badass, I feel like he just randomly just jumped out of nowhere and trolled, in my opinion. His album just wasn't good enough, and he did not bridge what he tried to do with that fake beef shit. I think it worked better for Ray Vaughn and the people on the West Coast than the one who actually won with Joey Badass, because Joey is a great rapper. He knows how to rap. I think he knows how to make great songs, great tracks. I think he has a classic in the tuck. I think it's a little early to pronounce his 1999, is that the one, album as a classic as well. But he's up there. I think he's great. It's just when you had a time or when you had a chance to really, really blow up, really, really market yourself as a great rapper, as someone who can make a great album, as someone who won the beef and popped out as the one, it doesn't work. And J. Cole calls it out, which I think is interesting. There should be a conversation about throwing rocks and hiding your hand by J. Cole. He's done it a few times. That False Prophet song comes to mind. But yeah, very, very interesting. I like how J. Cole does sound on these tracks. I like how J. Cole is rapping. I like how he's talking shit. I'm hoping that the album is great because I feel like he needs a classic. He needs this to be a classic. He has one classic, arguably two. Forest Hills Drive is the classic. I don't care what you guys say. For Your Eyes Only is not a classic. It can be a great album, a good album, whatever the hell you think it is, but it's not a classic album. Born Sinners, not a classic album. Again, great album, whatever, not a classic. I think the closest one possibly is Friday Night Lights, but that's a mixtape. So there's the conversation about is it about blah blah blah. But yeah, so This one I feel like needs to be a classic for him to hang on to this top three. Of course, I still think he's going to be in the big three just off of features, off of random verses that people still quote to this day. He has classic lines, he has classic bars, classic hooks. He has everything. We just need his albums to be better than they are. Because there's a. When you look at everything, like, step back and really, really think about it. J. Cole's most precious asset is storytelling. And even on the storytelling album, it was not as impressive as I feel like it could have been. For Your Eyes Only is a solid album. Great album. I think it's an 8.5 out of 10. I do not hate that album. Don't get me wrong. Ville Mentality, one of my favorite songs. But still, it's super restrained. I feel like there's a lot of. I'm going on a tangent on that album. One day I will talk about that album on why I don't think it's a classic. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Go check this album out, man. I think it's on YouTube. If it's not on YouTube yet, it's floating around somewhere. I saw a link on Twitter that somebody sent me, so that's how I heard it, and good energy from J. Cole on this one. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video.